Alexander Isak. Same position, more or less, same league he was playing in, 20 times the price. And here's the uncomfortable question this video is going to ask. Was N'Golo Kante not the better player? Because if the answer is yes, and I think it is, then we're not really talking about two midfielders anymore. We're talking about what's happened to this sport and who's actually paying for it. Let's start with what that £5.6 million actually got Leicester. A 24-year-old who'd been playing third division football in France 3 years earlier. No reputation, no hype reel. Claudio Ranieri didn't sign a project. He signed a player who, within 12 months, was the engine of the most unlikely title win English football has ever produced. Kante covered more ground than anyone in the league that season. He won the ball back more than anyone in the league. Alex Ferguson, a man not known for handing out compliments lightly, called him the best player in the Premier League before he'd even left Leicester. Then Chelsea paid £32 million to take him across London. He won the title again. First outfield player to do that back-to-back with two different clubs since Eric Cantona. Then a Champions League. Then a World Cup with France. That initial £5.6 million fee, even being generous and adjusting it for 26 years, 10 years of inflation, you're looking at maybe £7.9 million in today's money. UK prices are about 41% higher than they were back in 2015. So even being fair to the inflation argument, Kante cost Leicester the equivalent of about £8 million in today's terms, for a player who went on to do all of that. Keep that number in your head, £7.9 million. We're coming back to it. Now let's talk about Elliot Anderson. I want to be clear before anyone accuses me of disrespecting the kid. He's a good player. Forest fans liked him. He had a strong season. England picked him. None of that's in question. What's in question is the price. 2 years ago, Newcastle sold him to Nottingham Forest for £35 million, and that sale wasn't really about football. It was about Newcastle needing to balance the books under the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. An academy graduate sold not because Eddie Howe wanted rid of him, but because the spreadsheet demanded it. 18 months later, Forest sold him again, this time to Manchester City for £116 million. A fixed fee, no add-ons. A British transfer record for a player, only just behind what Liverpool paid for Alexander Isak last summer, and ahead of what Arsenal paid for Declan Rice. Same player, 2 years, the fee more than tripled. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Anderson is a bad player, because he isn't, but I am going to ask you the obvious question. Is Elliot Anderson right now 20 times the footballer that N'Golo Kante was in 2015? Because that's the gap. Even using Kante's inflation-adjusted figure, £7.9 million, Anderson's fee is roughly 14.5 times that. Not because Anderson got that much better, because football's pricing model broke. Here's where I want to slow down, because this is the actual point of the video, and it's bigger than either player. If wages and prices in this country had simply tracked inflation since 2015, things would cost about 41% more than they did then. That's it. That's normal inflation. A loaf of bread, a pint, a train ticket, roughly 40% pricier, give or take. Transfer fees have not gone up 40%. They've gone up by multiples that inflation doesn't even begin to explain. Anderson's own fee tripled in 18 months. Not his quality, his price. Same player, different market conditions, different clubs with different financial pressures, and the number more than tripled. This is the part that should worry every fan watching this, regardless of which club you support. When a transfer fee detaches that far from inflation, that money has to come from somewhere, and it's not coming from the moon. Clubs don't print money. The money for a £116 million transfer fee comes from broadcast deals, sponsorship, and directly or indirectly from fans. Ticket prices, season tickets, replica kits that get a new design every single year, conveniently. Streaming subscriptions stacked on top of each other because now you need 3 different services just to watch every game your club plays. Football used to be the working man's game. That phrase gets thrown around so much, it's basically a cliche now. But go back and look at it literally. Stadiums were built in working-class neighborhoods because that's who the game was for. A ticket cost what a ticket should cost for a weekly hobby, not a luxury outing. Now, top-flight football in this country is something you increasingly need real disposable income to follow properly, in the stadium and even just to watch it all on TV. And the players caught in the middle of this aren't the villains here, by the way. Anderson didn't set his own price. Neither did Kante, for that matter. Somebody could argue Kante was underpaid relative to what he delivered, and that he's the one who actually got a raw deal in this story. The villain, if there is one, is a financial structure where fees can triple in 18 months, while everything else in the country is rising at a sensible, boring 2 to 3% a year. Let's bring it back to the football, because I don't want this to feel like I dodged the actual question. Trophy for trophy, peak for peak, N'Golo Kante is one of the greatest value-for-money signings the Premier League has ever produced. Full stop. 2 titles with 2 different clubs back-to-back, Champions League, World Cup, Player of the Season, multiple Team of the Year selections, all of that from a £5.6 million fee. Anderson hasn't done any of that yet. Give him time. But right now, today, judged on what's actually happened on a pitch, N'Golo Kante is not just the better player, he's not close. And he cost a fraction of the price, even before you account for what that fraction would buy in 2026. So here's the actual takeaway, and it's not really about Kante or Anderson individually. It's that football's price tags have stopped meaning anything. They don't track quality, they barely track inflation, they track financial panic, parachute payments, and PSR paperwork. And every time that number goes up, it's fans who eventually foot the bill, one ticket, one kit, one subscription at a time. If you think I'm wrong about Anderson or you think I'm underselling him, comment below. I want to hear it. And if you want more of this kind of breakdown where we actually follow the money instead of just talking tactics, subscribe because I've got a few more of these coming.